Anyway, it's a great movie. No, now that I'm the parent of a teenager, I realize that Dad in the Dead Poets Society was right. I'm kidding. I know the point of the movie is don't be a teacher. My wife hates that joke so much. My kids, I don't know what they think. I don't even think my kids know what I do for a living. Or I should say, I didn't think they knew what I did for a living. Till last Halloween, my 10-year-old, Michael, didn't know what he wanted to be for Halloween, which is a crisis. If you're a parent, you know this. And then like 2 days before Halloween, he ran up to me and he goes, I know what I'm gonna be for Halloween. I'm gonna be a stand-up comedian. And I was so touched. I was like, oh my gosh, for Halloween, you wanna be your dad? And he goes, no, I wanna be John Mulaney. Slap! Right across the face. Thank you so much, you guys. Appreciate it. Because we all went through the same pandemic, but we didn't have the same experience, right? There were factors. Like if you were 25 and healthy, you were like, whatever, I'm going on a COVID cruise. But if you were over the age of 25, and it may surprise you, but I am, you watch the news more closely, right? The news guys would be like, high-risk people are older. And you're like, well, how old? Like old, or didn't have a cell phone in high school old? Right? Because nobody thinks of themselves as old. The reality of your age just occasionally slaps you across the face. I did this benefit for a hospital. It was a fancy event. When I showed up, the woman running the event was like, oh my gosh, we went to the same college. She was younger, but we talked and we realized we hung out at the same places. And then at the end of the event, I was leaving and she ran up. She was like, I need to know what year you graduated college. And I was like, 1988. And she was like, oh my gosh, that's the year I was born. Slap! Right across the face. I didn't even know what to say. I was like, that's the year I was born too. She just looked at me like, that's not funny. And then I got in my car and stuffed food in my mouth until I stopped feeling anything. Sometimes you had to decipher the news, right? The newscast would be like, the vulnerable are older and people with comorbidities. What? Comorbidity. Which eventually we figured out was just code for all the fat asses are gonna die. But they couldn't say that on the news. They couldn't have Sanjay Gupta be like, well, Anderson, all the fat asses are gonna die. So they said comorbidities. And at home, we were like, honey, what is a comorbidity? I don't know, pass the gravy. In time, we figured out they were talking about fat people. And if you were overweight, you were like, well, how fat? Like, are we talking Walmart fat or Jim Gaffigan fat? I got the message. I don't know, but I totally got the message. I started working out. I started eating healthy. I was going good. And then one day I looked in the mirror and I was like, enough of that. Turns out life or death, not the motivator you'd think it would be. You can live longer. Not a good enough reason. Can you sweeten the deal? Maybe throw in a pizza? I tried. My wife bought me a scale, so the romance is still alive. I didn't ask for it. She gave it to me as a gift. I could never do something like that. Happy birthday, honey. I bought you a scale and some makeup. Just looking out for you, sweetie. It's a high-tech scale. Comes with an app so the government can know how overweight I am. I don't know why there's an app. Maybe so I can be the victim of ransomware. Pay up, we're telling everyone how fat you are. But I don't have any cryptocurrency! I set up the app, stood on the scale, my weight showed up on the phone, 150 pounds. All right, it was over 200. All right, it was way over 200. If it was an old-fashioned scale, you wouldn't see the number 200. But it was in the 200 family. And underneath my weight on the phone, there was this word in small red lettering, and I didn't have my glasses on, so I asked my daughter, I was like, what does that say? And she was like, obese. Slap! Right across the face. I just looked at my daughter, I'm like, I gotta update this app. Contemplate. Like my daughter was in a play on Thursday and Friday, so I went on Thursday night, and then Friday morning she saw me with my rolly bag, and she was like, oh, you're not coming to my show tonight? I'm like, you've never been to one of my shows. I do 300 a year. My big plan was to teach my children responsibility by selling posters after one of my shows. So I texted my teenager, I'm like, do you want to sell posters after my show? I'll pay you. She texted back, great, sounds good. So then I texted my teenager, I'm like, do you want to sell posters after my show? I'll pay you. He texted back, no thanks, I don't need the money. He doesn't have any money. He has my money. I just texted back, you're out of the will. I'm kidding, he was never in it. If my father asked me to do something, he wouldn't even stick around for an answer. You want to shovel the driveway? Then he'd just leave. It was understood I was going to shovel the driveway or move out. I was kind of frightened of my dad. My children treat me like some bank teller they reluctantly have to deal with. Once a week, they just appear in front of me. Mom said I could get a shark. So I guess I need your credit card. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? He's yelling again, Mom! If my dad was in a room in the house, I wouldn't go to that side of the house. I'll just pee outside. And I had all these older siblings that used to send me in there to ask questions. Go ask Dad, I'm gonna go to Dairy Queen. I'm not doing it. Go, you're too young to kill. Dad, what the hell do you want? He said no. When I didn't have kids, I didn't understand my dad at all. And by the way, if you don't have children, none of this should make sense. Right? Like, even the concept of a Saturday night, when you don't have kids, you're like, Saturday! And when you're a parent, you're like, who can we pay to come to this house? Watch this child. And your standards drop so dramatically. Initially, you're like, they should have a PhD, and then you're like, well, how long were they in jail? Murder, it wasn't children, right? A Satanist, they'll fit right in. Any parent will tell you that, like, having children has enriched their lives. It's exposed them to things they never thought they'd do. Like, kids just, you end up doing things you never thought you'd do. Like, for me, going outside. You ever go outside with real little kids? You don't even know what to do with them. You're like, well, I normally just drink out here. Who wants to play a game of nap? It's weird when your kids have a friend that you're not a fan of. Oh, Tommy's coming over? Well, I'll be leaving. You can text me when Tommy's gone, because he's immature. I wasn't prepared for all the activities kids have. you're picking up your kid and bringing them to an activity and then bringing them to another activity, and if they don't have an activity, you have to think of one or they'll smoke meth. You're always looking for an activity as a parent. I took my kids to Ripley's Believe It or Not. I don't know if you've ever been that desperate for something to do. What can I tell you about Ripley's Believe It or Not? It's mostly not. It's not interesting. It's not even a lot of stuff. It's like they just emptied out some drifter storage unit. I do admire that business model, you know. Most businesses attempt to establish trust with the customer, not Ripley's. Like, believe it or not, we don't care. We know you're not coming back. I'm still getting used to having teenagers. Recently, my 17-year-old daughter told me that she wants to be an actor, which is so crazy, because when I was that age, that movie, The Dead Poets Society, came out, which is an amazing movie with Robin Williams, where he plays this teacher who inspires these students to seize the day, right? And one of the students wants to be an actor. And he joins the play and he invites his dad to see the play. And after the play, he tells his dad that he wants to be an actor. And the dad's like, "You're not going to be an actor. That's stupid. That's a waste of time and money." And the kid's so distraught. He